always been interested in the fight for the Smoky Mountains, between the timber interests and the people wanting to make the park. That to me was a fascinating story, and that had always struck me as something that would be really good novel material, but it really wasn't until I got an image of a woman on horseback one day that I finally kind of got started. That image kind of led me to Serena and into the novel. Serena is a novel that is, at its heart, is the fight for the Smoky Mountains National Park. It's set in 1928, 1929. And the central character, in many ways, is Serena Pemberton, a woman who's in charge of a timber camp, and she's very ruthless. But she will come up against people who will fight against her. Some for the park, some because of her threats toward individuals who have not nearly the power she does. The term Southern Gothic has been one that's been around a while to describe Flannery O'Connor and William Faulkner, more recently Harry Crews, Larry Brown, and I'm always a little leery of labels, but I'm certainly glad to be in that company. So, it's a different kind of book, I think. In some ways, I don't see it quite as dark. I mean, actually, the character who ultimately wins out is not Serena. After Serena came out, the book got some good notices and some attention, and that because of that, several people in Hollywood got very interested in it as a possible script, possible movie. And for the next few years, nothing really seemed to happen, but about a year and a half ago, a director named Susanne Bier, who's won an Academy Award, got very interested in it, and even better, got Jennifer Lawrence interested in it. And Jennifer Lawrence read it and then talked to Bradley Cooper about that she'd like him to play the other role. And so from there on, the production went into, it actually went into production, and it's been filmed now. I think they have a couple of scenes left to do, but it's pretty much been filmed, and the release date is right now late 2013. That could change. I wasn't very involved in it. I felt like my job was to write the novel and then stay out of their way. I did get questions from the screenwriter. Actually, one of the actors, British actor Toby Jones, had a few questions about accents and things like that, and I was glad to answer those questions, but I pretty much stayed out of it and let them, it's their vision now. I mean, I'd never have written a novel thinking it'd make a good movie or a good screenplay. So I just write. I do want my work to be very visual. I want my readers to see what I'm describing. But it's just an attempt to write as well as I can, and that's what I do with every book. Some books will end up being better than others, but I always give it my best effort, and that's all I can do. The attention to my work has kind of been building very slowly over the years, but I think that was probably a good thing because it allowed me to concentrate on my craft, and just steadily get better, or hope I got better. And I think sometimes a lot of attention's not good for a writer. It's not good in a number of ways, and so I think as far as a career, it's worked out well. The kind of slow growth of my audience. I think one of the great debts I have is to Gardner-Webb because of the teachers I had there, particularly Dr. Joyce Brown and Gil Blackburn. These were teachers who taught me so much and encouraged my writing. Joyce actually was, I guess, the first person I ever showed my writing to. And she was very encouraging, and that has meant a lot to me over the years. The discipline, the high standards that Joyce Brown and Gil Blackburn expected out of their students, the idea of not settling, not wanting to, mediocre, not wanting to be mediocre. I think, and not just Joyce and Gil, though those were the teachers that I remember the most, but there were a number of other fine teachers, and I think I got a great education there. And it was just, I don't think I'd be the writer I am without that education.
I am a poor wayfaring stranger.